The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Is the Jets' schedule easier than we realize? We'll talk about the latest on that. Frankie V from uStadium will join me. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby. We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go, here on a Thursday, show number 2 on the day. Check out the first show where we went even more in depth on the schedule. If you missed it, I also want to make sure I share this over and over again. Our meetup for this year's road trip is Tampa Bay in week 3 of the season. I've already now been in touch with the Tampa Bay Jets fan club to partner with them for a meetup the night before the game and a tailgate before the game on Sunday. I've reached out to some hotels already to try and find a group rate to get the best possible bang for your buck for any Asmaniac who's making the trip. All the info, as soon as I get it, will go to on Patreon and Discord. So join the Patreon if you haven't, patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. It's the best way for all of us to connect and stay in touch. Thank you to Jesse P, who signed up earlier today. All right, with that said, let's say hello to one of our good friends, a friend of the show, a diehard Jet fan, and the co-founder of uStadium. Frankie V joins us now. Hello, Frankie.
Jake. I may be meeting you in Tampa, by the way.
Oh,
Talking to some people today. I really want to go. I've had this dream about living in Tampa for quite some time. I just feel like it's the place for me. So, why not go and catch a Jet game while you're at it and, meet up with you and all your fans and, we could have a little good time. So there's a possibility there. I'm just letting you know. It's more than 50%. I work in those percentages all the time.
Let's go.
More than
I'll take
50%.
that. Tampa Bay,
Yeah.
Frankie V, Todd Bowles, we're coming for that ass. Let's go.
Yes, sir, man. And I'm not a big Baker Mayfield fan. So, it's right up my alley. I could really be, really be a booze bag in the stands and start screaming stuff at Baker. So I'm going, man. I think I'm going to be there. So
let's go, baby. Let's go. For those who are interested in going, like Frankie V, just stay tuned as we are working on all the details as we speak. So stay tuned for more. Shout out to Mother Effin' Chew. He gifted a membership to himself. He became a channel member, and he entered the raffle, which means he has a chance to win a signed Jalen Brunson jersey, Aaron Glenn throwback jersey, Curtis Martin jersey, and I added the latest prize this morning, a signed CJ Mosley Jets jersey. So those are the top 4 prizes now in the Asmaniac raffle. All right, let's talk about this schedule, Frankie V. We know week 3 is in Tampa. Here's the rest of the schedule. Your thoughts? What was the initial reaction when you saw the schedule here? We know you're rooting for 0-17. I don't think you're gonna get that, Frankie. So your thoughts on this Jets 2025 schedule?
Well, I'll say this, right? The first half of the schedule is pretty tough, right? I think the toughest stretch is the opening stretch. You're playing Pittsburgh, well-coached team. Aaron Glenn, it's going to be his first game coaching in this league. It's going to be a tough one, especially with Justin Fields being in Pittsburgh last year. They're going to have all the tendencies on Fields out. So that'll be a tough game to kind of get things moving. But I like that we're playing a team that we can beat in week 1. It's not like we're playing Buffalo like we are in week 2 on the road. You can beat Pittsburgh. So I think it's a good barometer for us to see how this team did in the offseason, what sort of moves we've made. And is Justin Fields someone we can look, forward to throughout the rest of the season? So I like the week 1 matchup. I think it'll be difficult. Week 2, obviously, against Buffalo will be a tough one. And then at Tampa, the game we're just talking about will obviously be tough just because Tampa likes to put up points, especially at home. They're going to want to score fast and early. It's kind of like their motto there. So we're going to have to kind of keep up the pace with them on the points in terms of scoring. But the rest, I mean, listen, Miami, Dallas, Denver, I have the spreads up on here. I mean, we are technically only favored in 2 games this season. So the only 2 games we're favored in is week 7 at Carolina, versus Carolina at home. And then week 10 home versus the Browns. But Dallas, they're only favored by 1.5. You look at Falcons are only favored by 1.5. The Dolphins 1.5. I don't think this is that tough of a schedule. I really don't. After that first stretch, you have a bunch of winnable games. You got to get into the bye week 500, I think, and then you could start playing with your wins and losses and see if there's a possibility that you can come out of here and potentially earn a playoff spot for the first time in 14 years. The thing I like about the schedule, Jake, is look at the playoff teams last year in the NFL, right? We're not playing Kansas City. We're not playing Houston. We're not playing the Chargers, right? We're not playing Detroit. We're not playing Philadelphia. We're not playing the Rams. We're not playing the Vikings. I mean, the Commanders, Packers. We're not playing a bunch of, quality teams. If this team can start off hot and Aaron Glenn can prove that he knows what he's doing and Justin Fields is a formidable quarterback option for us with a good defense and a good offensive line, you could win a lot of games in this league. So after that first stretch, there are a bunch of winnable games. And I'm being an optimist now. You know me, I'll be as negative as anybody. Strength of schedule, I think we're 7th easiest strength of schedule. And I think if the Jets can finally get their heads out of their where, they could win some football games and maybe finally make the playoffs.
I bet a lot of people are shocked that Tanky V himself is feeling optimistic about the schedule. How about that?
Yeah, I looked at the schedule. Some fans are like, I can't see 4 or 5 wins. No, you can see 4 or 5 wins. Come on. Miami, you could split easily. Jacksonville, you tell me the Jets can't, with our defense can't beat Jacksonville. The Saints, the Patriots aren't world beaters, and they have a first time head coach for them. Panthers, Browns, Broncos. I mean, the Broncos game will be tough because it's in the UK, so you always give the advantage to the more experienced head coach on a neutral field like that. But the Buccaneers, I mean, come on, even Steelers week 1. The only teams you can really chalk up L's to if you want to play this game, the Bills, chalk up an L, chalk up maybe 2 L's, chalk up an L to the Ravens. And then we're talking about the Patriots. And then we're talking about the Broncos and Cowboys. It's Cincinnati. I mean, are we that scared of Cincinnati? I mean, listen, I'm all in for, if you're 1-7, finish out the year where you're in the Archie Manning, Lenoris Sellers sweepstakes. I'm all on board with that. But I'm also on board with being a fan and trusting in what they're thinking that they're doing and saying to Aaron Glenn, go and freaking start 500. Why not? Go and start, 4-4 or 5-3. I mean, why not? But the first stretch is going to tell us a lot. And that first game, Jake, will tell you a lot.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Are we built for this shit or will we be shit? That's the question about the 2025 Jets. Look, I understand it's Pittsburgh. It's likely Aaron Rodgers, but it's not an automatic L. And I do think Glenn could build up a lot of goodwill if the Jets open at home and come out and play well and win that game. And let's take a closer look now at the schedule here. This is courtesy of Rich Samini, some nuggets on the schedule. Only 2 games on short rest, week 5 versus Dallas, week 11 at New England. 3 games.
That's big, by the way.
Yeah.
That is, out of all the points that I've heard, that is maybe the top point. Short rest is rough in this league. That's big. Sorry to cut you off.
You're good. 3 games where they have a rest disadvantage. Week 4 at Miami, week 5 versus Dallas, week 8 at Cincy. Miami and Cincy will be coming off mini buys. 2 games where they have a rest advantage. Week 3 at Tampa. Hey, that's good news for us because we're headed down to TV for the Asmaniac takeover. Week 12 at Baltimore. They're probably going to lose that game anyway. Jets have a tough start with Pittsburgh, Buffalo, TB, but all things considered, they can't be upset with the schedule. I think it's a fair schedule. To me, this is not like they had a tough schedule and that's why this team only won 5 or 6 games. Like, if Aaron Glenn's good at this job, can coach up Fields, assuming there's no catastrophic injuries, like, the best case scenario is a path to being relevant, 9-8, making the playoffs, sneaking in. Like, it could happen. I wouldn't pick it, but I'm not as down on this team being like the worst in the NFL, like some have prognosticated already. I don't think, ESPN ranked them 30th. I don't think this is the 30th team in the NFL. I don't think they're going to be picking in the top 3.
Yeah, listen, I'll be honest. I don't know about that. I'm not going to go that far and say that they're not going to be picking in the top 3. But in terms of the schedules, and the only reason I'm saying that is because I don't know what Tanner Engstrand's going to do with the offense. I have no idea what Justin Fields is going to look like out there. I just don't know. And until I see that or get some indication that they're going to be running something that's modern and fast and allows you to run the read option with Breece Hall, then I'm not going to have much confidence in the offense at this point. But with that being said, this is one of the best schedules I've seen in recent memory. I can't tell you how many times the schedule comes out and I'm like, you chuck up 4 L's in a row in your mind being a negative fan. And I don't see it here. I mean, you go down the list outside of the first 4 games are tough, but Miami,
even Buffalo early, they play Buffalo well at home the last couple of years. So, they're probably not going to win the game, but this can't be a blowout. Like, I feel like week 1 is winnable, right? Rodgers, even if he's there, he's not known to be the best week 1 quarterback, that we know. Tampa's winnable. Like, I don't think there's very many games I look at and go, yeah, I don't see any path for them to win. It doesn't mean they're going to win the games, but I don't know. I think there's too many Jet fans who are like, the schedule is so hard. Like, I don't think it is. Like,
no, it's not. It's absolutely not. It's how many playoff teams are on this list? 4 from last year. I mean
look at the home stretch too, by the way. I gave this stat this morning. After the week 8 road game in Cincinnati, the Jets' only road games over the next 6 weeks after that, New England and Baltimore. And over their last 6 weeks, they only faced one team that had a winning record last season. That's the Bills, and that game might not mean anything to them in week 18 if they have the division wrapped up by then. So, I don't know. It's not the easiest start, but if they could somehow start 2-2, I think they're going to be okay if they have a real coach. And that's the unknown, but for those who believe in Aaron Glenn, there you go. There's a path to being relevant.
Yeah, and the most interesting part about this schedule, too, is after those first 3 games, I feel like we'll have a pulse on what this team is or who Aaron Glenn is as a head coach. And I think that all culminates in that Thursday night matchup with Monday Night Football matchup with the Dolphins, which is the first of a doubleheader, which is considered prime time. But again, you're sharing a doubleheader there as well. So that'll be interesting. I think that'll be the game, Jake, where we either win and we're 3-1 and Aaron Glenn's going to change everything, and he is already, or it's going to be like, wow, we're still the same old, Jets, and we just were, 1-3 or 0-4. I think
You get the fuck out.
No, positivity, baby.
I'm being positive. I'm being positive today. I took my positivity pills. Okay. I'm feeling good, but, I don't know, man. The schedule is not what some fans online are saying. I'm reading the timeline as well and hearing people say, oh, I can't find 3 or 4 wins. Like, no, that's the New York Giants where you can't find 3 or 4 wins. You can't even find a win with the Giants schedule. With our schedule, there are wins. You're playing the Browns, you're playing the Panthers, you're playing the Saints, you're playing the Falcons. Are we scared of the Falcons? I mean, like, Aaron Glenn's defense and Steve Wilkes should be able to dial up stuff Michael Penix has never seen before. A lot of these quarterbacks, we should be able to dial things up defensively that these guys haven't seen. Are we scared of Baker Mayfield without Liam Cohen there? I'm not scared of that matchup. I'm not scared of the Patriots on Thursday Night Football. I mean, I'm just not. The only game I'm scared of is the Ravens game, if you want to be honest, and the Bills. But I think we can beat the Bills, and we have. We beat the Bills with Robert Saleh, right? Zach Wilson beat the Bills. I mean, like, if this team wants to be taken seriously,
win games.
Beat the Bills.
That's it. Well, like, just win games, man. Like Rex. Look what Rex did in his second ever game. He beat Brady and Belichick, set the tone. You know, they started 3-0. Like, get off to a good start. That's how you change the narrative. You want to be taken seriously, you win football games.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, I'll say this. I do like what I'm seeing out of Aaron Glenn thus far. I do like the accountability structure, I guess, that it seems like he's trying to put in place. But again, I don't know. And you know, I'm big on the OC. I don't know what Tanner Engstrand is, what he wants to do, what kind of play calling, situations he's going to put the team in. I mean, like, is he going to be aggressive on a 3rd and short? Is he going to play action, roll out Fields to throw something down the middle to Mason Taylor? Or is he going to kind of play it chalk and just hand it off to Brees? I don't know yet. I hope he's I hope he's an aggressive-minded OC. I hope he does things that will burn us at times, but at least shows us that moving forward with this guy, he can be someone we can grow with. I hope he's not too conservative, because the Jets do that a lot of times, right, Jake? Like, we'll have offensive coordinators, young guys, and then we'll have them running like draws or whatever, or HB dives on 3rd and 1s. You don't want that. Like, you want a guy that's a little bit creative, a little bit risque, as they say, you know? And I feel like we haven't had that.
Calm your freaky down.
I haven't heard that one in a while.
Omari with a super chat. By the bye week, if we start off bad, do we stick with Fields? Well,
you kind of have to.
Who's the alternative? It's either Tyrod Taylor or Adrian Martinez or Connor Cook if they keep a 3rd quarterback. I know you guys got into this a little bit on the podcast with Kaz. I don't see any other quarterback option. For better or worse, their options this year are Fields, and we hope he's great, and then Tyrod Taylor is the backup. And if the Jets suck, guess what? They're going to have a brand new quarterback room next year, led by a 1st-round pick in all likelihood taking over.
Yeah, I don't. The thing is, if by the bye week starting off bad, are you still in somewhat of a playoff contention? Like, are you still in playoff contention?
Yeah. What's the record? Are they 0-6 at the bye, or they're like 2-4?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. If you're 2-4 and you're like, all right, our defense looks really good, Brees looks really good, Garrett's had some big games, but Fields has turned the ball over and can't hold on to the football. Yeah. Play Tyrod if you want to make a playoff push. Of course, you play the best players that you have to get you the best chance of winning football games. That's foundationally speaking in football. But they're giving Fields a tryout year. So I don't know. That's why I was telling everybody, and I got a little bit ripped for this. And Jake, I think you agreed with me on this. They should have drafted a quarterback. Yes. Drafted somebody like a Kyle McCord, a Will Howard. You know, I like Will Howard, fan crush. Riley Leonard. Have someone sitting there where if it comes down to it week 10, you know Fields isn't the guy. You're not in playoff contention, but you are somewhat competitive. Maybe Will Howard's your guy you start the next year with, or Kyle McCord. And then you could give the next quarterback a little more time to develop, or you're not throwing them in there week 1. But whatever. That's not like a perfect formula. I'm not saying like that's a no-brainer. To me, it was pretty obvious, but whatever. But yeah, they're going to stick with Fields as long as the wheels fall off with him, 100%.
Yeah, I agree with that. And one thing I should note, so I said, 2-4 at the bye. So the bye's not till week 9, so they'll play 8 games. But I guess my point is, post-London, if they wanted to maybe do something different, they can't even really do that because they don't have the bye. So I think if they suck, there's no quarterback change till after the bye week. Like they're going to give Fields every opportunity to try and be the guy before they pull the plug. Because if they pull the plug on Fields, if he's that bad, Tyrod Taylor is not your long-term answer either. So we're just basically playing out the string at that point.
Yeah, and what's interesting about that too, Jake, I don't know if you heard what Kaz said on Gangs All Here. He said that the Jets, like any team that goes to London, have an option to take the bye week after the London game.
Not this year, though. Shout out to
Really?
Boy Green, who had someone from the NFL on a show that's involved with the schedule.
Okay.
Because
I was
of
going to ask you, did you? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, basically because of all the international games, I don't believe teams had the wherewithal to say we want the bye after. So
Is that confirmed?
that's what a guy said on the Boy Green program.
Okay, I'll take their word for it. Okay. Because
So
if that was the case, I thought it would have been just, ideal if you took the bye after London. You know what happened last year after London?
Oh,
All
do
hell
we
broke
know what
loose.
happened? Robert Saleh got back on a plane, and when he landed, he was no longer the Jet head coach.
Yes, that's why I'm like, if you're going to take the bye, take it after London. Because if you don't play well that game, being negative again, if you implode, at least it gives everyone a chance to go home and think about things instead of coming in to work the next morning and Woody going crazy on everybody. But hey, with that said, that's another very interesting game. You're going to London, I assume, or you're like up in the air?
London's up in the air. I'm going to try, though. I had a great time last year. I'm definitely confirmed for Tampa as far as the away game.
Cool. Yeah, I may. Again, I'm thinking about that game. That's like number one on my list right now. The game
Really?
to attend this year. Yeah. I do post games with Ryan, so I don't know the situation of doing it in Tampa. That's the problem. If I go to the game, we go live right after the game.
Yeah, so do
That's
I.
where
But you just delay the post game show a little bit. You wait an hour. It's all right. The
Yeah,
audience will
yeah.
be there for you.
Yeah. No, you're right. Maybe we'll do a collab post game.
Let's do it. We'll do
I'll tell Ryan.
combine the
to kick rock.
streams.
There we go. Yeah, that might be fun.
Derek says, Frankie, Jake's trying to get people to go on this trip. You're a deterrent like the deodorant I put on this morning. Your thoughts?
I'm a deterrent to who? To you or to I'm not.
He's saying that you coming on the Tampa Asmaniac trip is going to people are not going to want to go if you're.
Oh yes, yeah, you might might be right, man. All right, so you know what? I'll wait to announce if I'm coming or not. I'll do it like the night before, but I'll put it. It'll be up in the air to everybody, but I'll have an answer.
Ladies and gentlemen, the most ridiculous comment of the day goes to Alan, who says Big Don got Saleh canned. Alan, this is 1, not true. 2, a silly point. But ultimately, 3, it does give me a good reason to play this.
Fuck you, Alan.
So thank you very much, Alan. Anyway, here's a super chat from Fire Aaron Glenn, who says we don't have a real coach. Hey, Fire Aaron Glenn. 1, thanks to the super chat, but 2,
You get the fuck out.
it is interesting, right? This is the first time I could remember a new head coach having this little leeway from a lot of its fans. And Glenn played for the Jets too, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like there are just a lot of people just completely out on the Jets. And usually a new regime does bring in a lot more hope and optimism, but it goes back to what I said a lot of last year. The last 2 years did irreparable damage to this fan base.
Yeah, it did. And I think this also plays into it, Jake. A lot of fans wanted an offensive-minded head coach, me being one of them. It took me about a month. To stop thinking about that. Like, I was on the train of, if it's not an offensive guy, we don't know what we're doing. I don't care who we hire, including Mike Vrabel. I'm out. But as time heals all wounds for the most part. So I didn't let it get to me. But I think a lot of fans were pissed off about that. They wanted Ben Johnson. I wanted Josh McCown. I wanted Ben Johnson, obviously, too. Liam Cohen. And we ended up with the defensive guy. But you got to give him a shot, man. And there's something with Aaron Glenn. I don't know what it is, but there's something I really like. I do think he's that guy. And I think he'll keep players accountable. Like, in actuality, not just talk about it, but actually make guys want to understand that this is a business. And if they don't perform, they're gone. And I don't think Saleh ever gave the impression of that to anyone in there. It was a boys' club, and which works sometimes. Sometimes that can work. But the Jets need a lot more than just, everything's positive and great and let's pretend like we have a culture. No, you got to put the work in. You got to go out stay an extra hour after practice. You got to hit harder in practice than other teams. You got to do the little things that translate on Sundays. And I think Aaron Glenn's going to bring that. I really do. How good are they going to be? I don't know. They could stink, but I think he, with good coordinators, can be a good head coach at the end of the day. So
Engstrand being the most important hire Aaron Glenn made, because so
100%.
much of what this offense is going to be is based around maximizing the existing talent, building a running game with the O-line that on paper should be the best line the Jets have had in a decade at least. I mean, that's really the big thing.
Yeah, man. That's going to be everything. I mean, if you listen to Aaron Glenn too, he said he took a lot of tidbits from Dan Campbell and how he was coaching in Detroit. Campbell did similar things with how that's how Campbell structures his team. He lets the OC do everything on the offensive end, let Glenn do everything on the defensive end. It's almost like you're coordinating between two different teams and trying to gel them together. And that's what Dan Campbell's role is and was when Glenn was there. And Glenn's trying to do that now. Glenn's in the middle between the offense being run by Engstrand, the defense by Wilkes, and he's just trying to gel this whole thing together by being tough, by making players respect him, by making players want to earn their stripes. So, like, those are the kind of principles that he in the middle is putting on both ends of the team, and we'll see if it works. But that's what he's doing. He's literally doing what Dan Campbell did in Detroit here.
Dan Campbell, Aaron Glenn. We can only hope that.
Yeah, and remember, Aaron Glenn said, "I'm not a defensive coach." You remember that was the first thing he said. First day, I am not a defensive coach. Don't think of me as like, I'm not going to be calling the plays on defense. He's not doing it on offense, obviously. So to be honest, I prefer that approach. At the end of the day, and this is before Aaron Glenn was here, my favorite styles of head coaches are those kind of head coaches. They don't call the plays on offense. They don't call the plays on defense. They don't try to step on their coordinator's toes unless they have to. That's to me my favorite style, but that can work very well, like it did with Parcells. That could also crash and burn, and we've seen it in the past with some of these coaches that have tried that, like Herm Edwards, like tried that his whole career, and it was like, I don't know.
Willie Vision with a super chat. Willie, thank you very much for having great vision and for super chatting. Pittsburgh, Miami, Denver, Carolina W's, Buffalo, Dallas, Buccaneers, Cincinnati L's, 4-4 at the bye. Reasonable
for that right now.
This is doable though. This is a doable 4-4 record if we're gonna play.
Jake, if we're 4-4 by the bye, I'm telling you, the team's gonna end up with 8 or 9 wins. I'm telling you, they might even make it.
Yeah.
So I'm the first half of the schedule is tough. So I hope so. I hope they're 8-0 at the bye. But if I'll take 4-4, man,
dude,
I don't know.
4-4 at the bye. I'm gonna need. Say it again, Frankie. Sorry.
You think it's realistic?
I wouldn't bet on it. It's not improbable.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you beat Tampa, you could beat Miami, you could beat Denver and Carolina, right? And then if you don't beat one, you could beat Dallas, you could beat Cincy. I mean, if it's depending on how it goes. Yeah, I mean, it's not crazy, actually.
You can't lose week 1 and week 2. So you have to split your first 2 games. I think that's the key to this. You got to go 1-1 going into the Tampa and Miami stretch.
Yes. And you know what? I think I'll give you a hot take right now.
Ooh.
You want a hot take?
Yeah.
You want a uStadium hot take? I'm going to put it in our app.
Hold on. I want a hot take. I want it. I need it.
The New York freaking football Jets are going to win week 1. We're going to beat Pittsburgh, and we're going to beat them handily.
Handily.
Regret ever coming into MetLife week 1. We're going to win week 1. Aaron Glenn and Wilkes going to blitz the hell out of whoever's playing quarterback in Pittsburgh. We're going to run it down their throats. Fields is going to want to get revenge on his former team. Book it week 1. We're going to start 1-0. Might be the only time we have a winning record all year, but we're going to start 1-0. Book that.
Hell yeah. I'm in.
Doing that.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. If you want to call in, load up your calls as well on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline. I mean, when it comes down to it, right? If they go out there and say are even 5-6 going into the home stretch of the year, there's a legitimate path to finishing 9-8 with the way the schedule is seemingly set up here. Now, we know how this goes. Every year there's teams that we think are going to be good that end up being bad and vice versa. But, if you believe in due, we are certainly due as a fan base.
Yeah. And there's a few teams I'm looking at on our schedule that we're sort of chalking up as wins that are going to be, I think, more difficult than we think. And then I think there's a few teams that we think are going to be better than they actually are. So I'll just give you those. I think New Orleans is going to be better than people think. Why? I think Spencer Rattler is an underrated quarterback project. I like Spencer Rattler. Do I think Spencer Rattler is going to be a top 10 or 15 quarterback this year? No. But
I don't think he's going to start. I think Shuck's going to start.
I'm telling you, I think this is a thought on my end. Could be wrong, obviously. I think Rattler's going to take that job and not give it back that whole year. Wow. In my opinion. That's what I think. Kellen Moore works well with quarterbacks. I really like Rattler. I like Rattler out of college more than I liked Shuck, to be honest.
I think they like Shuck better than Rattler, though.
Apparently so, yeah.
They drafted him in the second round.
Yep, but once they get into camp, I think Shuck's time will come a year or two down the line. I don't think it's going to be this year. Rattler was pretty good last year in certain spots. I don't know if Shuck's going to be able to handle that right away, but I don't know. We shall see. I also think Carolina will be an interesting team. A lot of people think that they're, not great, or I know some fans like them, but I do like them. I think Bryce Young really came on last year, so those will be more challenging games. But I think Atlanta's not going to be as good as some fans are projecting. I don't think New England, right off the bat in their first year, is going to be as great as people think. I don't think Dallas with Schottenheimer is as great as people think. Miami is going to have issues this year as well because they're in like a transitional period where they don't really know what they're doing there and like what their identity is. I think Cincinnati will be better. I think Jacksonville will be better. So, I mean, yeah, like you were just saying, there's teams that it's a year-to-year league. Everything not going to be the same on a year-to-year basis.
Reminder, the Jake Asman Show's in podcast form, Apple or Spotify. Spread the word. Tell everyone you know that we talk Jets and whatever else each and every day on this YouTube show, and it's also available after the fact in audio form wherever you get your podcast. Gator with an Asmaniacs super chat. Party at Gator's house in Tampa, everybody. It's going to be crazy, man. All right? It's going to be a pool party, the likes of which none of us have ever experienced before, I'm hearing. Is there a single fan base out there seeing the Jets on their schedule saying anything but, yes, that's a win, baby? Let's see.
Probably just the Saints fans.
Maybe the Saints are like, we might be able to win that one. Like, we're home for it.
Isn't it funny how last year was basically the opposite? Last year we were favored in, I think, 13 or 14 games. This year we're favored in 2, which I like. I like when everyone expects us to be one thing. We're usually the opposite. So I'm something weird's going on over there, Jake. Something weird. I'm the last couple of days has sort of given me some I don't know. I'm getting some vibe. Maybe the Knicks are blinding me a little bit with this whole like New York sports resurgence. But
go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go!
We're back, baby.
Yeah, man. Let's go, baby.
Last night was weird, but hey.
Knicks in
winning 6. Yeah, Knicks in 6. Don't go 7. Not because you're worried about losing in 7, but you don't want to play that extra game.
I don't know if my heart can handle a game 7.
Nah, not against Boston, right?
I'll be in the building tomorrow night, Frankie. Don't worry.
Oh, you will? Let's go. All right.
Yep. I'll have the monitor up in front of me, though, so I could boo Soto from the Garden, as he returns to the Bronx. Let's see. Comments, questions, super chats. Cut the line. J-Quest writes, it can't expect much next year, which is a good thing. Predictions are just that. Predictions. No one knows unless you're Marty McFly and have a time machine. Have we thought of that? Should we design a time machine and figure out when we could start paying attention to the Jets again when they will have figured things out.
Well, let me ask you a question, Jake. If you had to get in a time machine, what year would you drop into to witness your New York Football Jets? What would be like your time frame? Like, where would you be? Broadway Joe era? Would you be Sack Exchange time?
When you say like am I just there for
What
the day?
year? Yeah, like you'd be. Yeah, like you could.
So I
pick
get
your
one
age.
day, or do I get?
You get. You know. We'll give you 3 years.
3 years. All right. I mean, this is tricky. Like, what was the best 3-year run in Jet history? I feel like, honestly, I'd love to relive the Rex years again because I enjoyed it. I experienced it. I guess I'd have to go back. I've never watched Namath play, so I'd have to go back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's the only answer. Yeah, I'd have to go back and watch that team. That'd be incredible.
Yeah. I'd have to see my guy Don Maynard, who's my favorite Jet. So that would be the year, and you get a Super Bowl out of it. You know, starting 68, you could leave out with a Super Bowl win. Why the hell not? You know.
New Q with a super chat for the Charles to Tampa fun. Good luck with that one. You think Charles Gorman's parents are going to let him come down to Tampa? I don't see it. It's going to be that's a tough sell, but we'll try. Bang Mateo says Frankie thinks Lawrence is better than Baker Mayfield because Lawrence has more money. True story.
He's right. Yeah. Not only because, but
you think Trevor Lawrence is better than Baker Mayfield?
If I had to start a team today, I'm taking Trevor Lawrence.
Really?
I think Baker has been fortunate in his system with those weapons, with that offensive coordinator. Took him, his 4th team to figure things out. Yeah. Is he?
I mean, he won a playoff game in Cleveland.
I think, didn't Trevor? No, Trevor didn't win a playoff game. He almost won a playoff.
No, he won the game that the Chargers collapsed.
Yes, he did win a playoff game too. That's right. So I forgot that he won that game. That was a game he had 4 interceptions to start and then sort of came back. But listen, Trevor Lawrence has room to grow, right? He's 6'5", 6'6", can make any throw. He's athletic. He's smart. He's not the best leader, I would say, not like the biggest rah-rah guy, but I think he's good enough. There's a reason they paid him, and this is the point. They're paid him 5 years, $275 million with $200 million guaranteed. Baker's deal was cool. Whatever he got, $140 million. He didn't get $275 to be the guy there. I like Baker as a football player. I just was saying, when you're starting a franchise, and today we're starting a team, I'm taking Trevor Lawrence over Baker. I don't know what Baker's going to give me in 3 years. I kind of sort of know what Trevor will give me.
I don't know. I think Trevor Lawrence is incredibly overrated. Baker Mayfield's a gamer.
We'll see
man.
this year.
We'll see. He's got a real
yeah.
Fair. We'll see what he does with real coaching, but I don't know. I just think he's very mid. Like, I think he is a product of the name and the hype surrounding him that he is, to this point, not even come close to living up to.
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't been Andrew
He's not
Luck,
bad. Like,
sure.
But I think he's a very mediocre
he's not.
quarterback.
He has now. I'll say this: their weapons there and their system hasn't made any sense. I mean, Etienne got injured, and then they pay all this money to Christian Kirk, and they tried it with Evan Ingram. It's just they don't only Gabe Davis was there. It doesn't make any sense what they've been doing. So, but this year, Liam Cohen's there. They have the kid out of year 2 at LSU who was awesome last year, and then they obviously drafted Travis Hunter, who I think is a phenomenal wide receiver. So I'll give Trevor no excuses this year, but I want to give him this year.
If you had to win a playoff game, which quarterback are you taking, Trevor or Baker? I'm taking Baker Mayfield. The guy's won multiple playoff games in his career.
Listen, this is a very 50-50. I like Trevor Lawrence more than Baker. I could see Baker, if things are going well, Baker's awesome. But if things aren't, he's 6 foot. He's small. He gets erratic. He overthinks things. Like Trevor's.
They were both the first pick in the draft.
They were absolutely. I'm still taking Trevor. I mean, listen, I'm not like sad as a Jets fan if we're going to go to that conversation that we didn't get Trevor. I'm not like crying about it because he's not Andrew Luck or not really close to Andrew Luck yet. But Trevor's good, man. Trevor's good.
The big fella with a super chat, tanky Spencer Rattler was ass last year.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't ass last year.
You think Spencer Rattler?
I
was
don't
good?
think. Listen, he wasn't ass last year. I watched him play. Spencer Rattler was pretty good. Like, not good, like saying like you're going to start a team around the guy, but like he had a few good games, and they really had nothing around
I
him.
thought he sucked last year, and I didn't watch him, I guess, as much as you. But like anytime I saw him, I was like, this guy's not good.
Yeah, if I recall, his first game he came in was pretty good. Like his first game and his last game were like his best games that he played. I'm not saying he's anything other than a shot in the pan starter for a year, but I'm telling you, Spencer Rattler has some pop, and in the draft community, there was a lot of people.
Who cares
really
with the draft community? He was
Spencer Rattler had like a little cult following. I wasn't part of it. I was not part of it.
Sounds like you were.
No, it's not part of it. But Spencer Rattler is not a bad quarterback. All right. That high school documentary on him like ruined the kid. Because they made him look like a prick, which apparently he was. I didn't watch it. I have no idea what was on that documentary. But give Spencer another year. I'm telling you, YouTube some Spencer Rattler, dude. YouTube some Spencer Rattler.
Ladies and gentlemen, Corey has gifted a membership, and I believe Corey is the first person 41 minutes in. The show's flying by already to gift today. He's in the raffle for 1 and 2 entries. He has a chance to win a signed C.J. Mosley jersey, a signed Curtis Martin jersey, a signed Aaron Glenn throwback jersey, and a Jalen Brunson New York Knicks signed jersey. Those are the top prizes. Gift away. Support the channel and help us get our next channel emoji. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get to some of your calls right now, shall we? First up today on the Gustbuster Umbrella Hotline is...
I've got my eye on you. Checkmate me full screen. It's fireball whiskey time. David motherfucking T.
Hi guys.
Hello, David.
Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, hey, you're making a lot of sense. I'm listening to you and following a lot that what you say. I always thought that by the third game you kind of know what the team is all about and everything, and you had mentioned that. And I think, and me personally, whatever was going to come up, but I like that there's Rodgers or no Rodgers starting out with Pittsburgh. You don't want to go in the back door. You want to go in the front door. Win or lose. Another thing, win or lose. I think the unknown.
Want to talk about the back door there, David?
Oh my God! No, I wasn't thinking. Well, I get you. I wasn't thinking that, but anyway. Okay. So you threw me off, and let me see here. Let's see. The Steelers by the third game, and anyway, I'm set on right now. My number is at 7 right now, and I just think the coaching is the trump card. I think like in detail or whatever. In the past few years, the dumb penalties or penalties in general probably cost us a couple of games a year, and so let the chips fall where they may. But I agree with you. I think that first game is going to tell a lot about the team and the coaching. In general.
Ladies and gentlemen, David T.
I got my Iron UG. I hope you like my Jets take. They call me David T. It's not easy for me to see, but if you bring me full stream, you might like what I had to say. I'll need to get real damn close, cause my vision is dog shit.
What a call there from the David T. 7 and 10 is one of the more likely outcomes I could see for this Jets season.
Yeah, that was my that's my prediction. 7-10, which is fine. I think that's starting point. The problem is if they are 1-8, I mean, you don't want them to then. Do you want them to pick up some cheap wins down the line? That's something kind of we didn't discuss, but you can find some of those, like those tanky fans. They hate those wins. Week 14 against Carolina when you can get a higher draft pick. So that'll be interesting. But at the other, so there's two sides to that. Do you want to win just to show that you're competitive and give some more confidence in your coaching staff and Taron Glenn, or do you want to lose to get a higher draft pick? That's always that end of the year discussion when you're out of the playoffs. So I just hope we don't find ourselves in that situation again. I'm sick of those conversations. I don't want to see it. I don't want to talk about it next year. Honestly, if there's one thing I don't want to do next year is that I do not want to go into week 14, 15, 16 having a decipher between draft picks and losing and we can't do that again. Please.
The pain. Big fella, super chat. Tanky, Rattler had 4 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Stop embarrassing yourself, bro. I liked him in college. He was totally ass.
This guy, every time I come on your stream, this guy he's not only a big fella in looks, he's got a big mouth too. You got a big mouth, man. I said I personally have watched Spencer Rattler play probably more than you have.
Are you saying he's not ass?
I don't think he's ass yet. I don't think you can make that assumption.
Look
at his. He's made some nice throws, and he had some nice games on a terrible team where their wide receiver one wasn't even there. Did you see the receivers he played with last year? He wasn't even there. The Olave was out. He was throwing to practice squad guys. But he knows better. The big fella, as always.
Yo Holmes says Frankie V rocking the Bill Hader haircut.
All right. I don't know what that haircut is, but
what else do we have here? Chicken Jenkins says Big Fella would throw you on the bed, belly up.
Yeah, I might not breathe after that one.
Jets Johnny says, oh my God, Zach Wilson made some nice throws too.
Listen, if you put Zach Wilson on that Saints team last year and just threw him out there, trust me, he's not having 240 yards passing like Rattler did a few times. So whatever. I mean, listen, I understand it's crazy. I personally like Spencer Rattler. Do I think he's going to be a great quarterback? No, I don't. But I'm telling you, don't be surprised. I've said stuff on this show many of times, and you guys all laugh, and then I come back, and it's a lot of the times I've been right. So just wait it out a little bit. Just wait.
Ladies and gentlemen, someone who loves Spencer Rattler is on the line.
Plants are trying to kill me, so I think I'll eat a stick of butter.
Yeah, Frankie's right. Spencer Rattler is the way, the truth, and the life. Spencer Rattler is the one. Like, you guys are going to owe me an apology on Spencer Rattler. I mean, any other quarterback who played 4 games, you'd be like, you only played 4 games. Spencer Rattler, no, write him off forever. Everything Frankie said is right. He played with nothing. He made some really good plays. Did he play well? I mean, not ultimately, but he's a rookie who played 4 games, right? Like, Caleb Williams can have the lowest completion percentage of any quarterback in recorded history on 15-yard passes and the third worst on 10-yard passes. And be like, no, he's going to be good. He just needs coaching. Spencer Rattler goes out, plays well, has some good games, has some moments, write him off forever. It's just only done to Rattler. That's it. Like, Rattler is going to be really good. The Saints aren't moving on from him for a reason.
What do you mean?
You guys are going to owe me an apology on Spencer Rattler.
If
he's under contract, well, they wouldn't move on from him. He's part of a quarterback room.
As their starting quarterback.
They drafted Tyler Shuck. I think he's going to end up winning the job.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not going to sit here and say if I had to make a prognostication or a prediction, I think Spencer's going to take that job and not give it back. That's what I think. I think Tyler Shuck stinks. But Jay could be right. They drafted Tyler Shuck second round. They're going to give him the keys and wait till he screws it up if he does or doesn't, and then
that'll be sooner rather than later.
I agree with you there. I couldn't agree more.
Hey, Frankie V, would you take Jaden Daniels in the first round if you could do it over?
Jaden Daniels, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, Gary wouldn't. I just wanted your thoughts on that.
You want to take Jaden Daniels?
It's just an injury. Round? It's an injury risk. A guy that small, I just can't do it. He's going to get injured, right? Like, I mean, it's too much of an injury risk. Is he a first round talent? Of course he is. I think he's a top 10, maybe a top 5 quarterback in football. But can I take a guy that small in the first round? No, it's too risky.
I will say this. Listen, watching that last playoff game, some of the stuff that Cliff Kingsbury was dialing up for him, he's going to get that kid killed out there. All those QB draws. I'm serious. He was. I agree with that. I love him. I think he's fantastic, but I can't take the risk. I love Jaden. I think he's great. So I'm not going there, Gary. But I don't know, man. It's tough with injuries. Sometimes you can predict them, sometimes you can't, right? I mean,
you can use calculated risk, right? like if this is the smallest quarterback you'd ever seen and he runs like Derrick Henry, there's a pretty good chance he might get hurt. I'm just like, if he's built like Kevin Durant and plays like Derrick Henry, that could be an injury risk. Unless you want to like make him a pocket passer, but then you take away what makes him special. I'm not taking. I think he's great.
Frankie, what's your take on gas station pizza? Are you a fan?
Not even the slightest bit. No gas station pizza.
Would you prefer gas station pizza over any item from McDonald's, Wendy's, or Burger King?
Probably no, I wouldn't. I'd go to those fast food chains.
What are you ordering from McDonald's ahead of gas station pizza?
Get the chicken sandwich.
No way I'm eating that. There's no way I'm eating that. There's no way.
I mean,
I'm eating the gas station. Like if I'm on an intersection and there's like there's 4 corners. There's a McDonald's, a Wendy's. What was the other one? KFC. What'd you say? Burger King.
McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King.
And on the 4th, there's a gas station. There's a Quick Trip. I'm going to Quick Trip and getting the pizza. Like there's no question about it. I'm not eating.
Now, how do you feel about pasta with chicken, Frankie? Like,
there's no way Frankie likes that. There's no way he's eating
chicken parm with pasta. You don't like it?
No, I like both items, but they have to be separate. It's like it's sacrilegious to add chicken on pasta.
Frankie's on point today.
So first if I order dinner.
I'm on point. The chat hates me today. People want to fight me in the chat today.
Well, they usually feel that way about Gary, which is why I was testing to see which one of Gary's takes you were line with. You say
I was joking with Big Fella too. I like the guy. Every time I come in the chat, every time I read the chat, Big Fella's ripping me. Super chat ripping me. I have my opinions, man.
You got to lay on your bed, Frankie, as a sign of respect to Big Fella. All right, you call in, be laying on your bed, and say this is for Big Fella, and I think all will be forgiven.
Okay.
Also, I believe in the Knicks tomorrow night in a major way. I think they're going to come out, and I think they're going to win Game 6. But a big reason why I'm pretty confident in the Knicks getting it done tomorrow is because Jalen Brunson himself received a blessing from Big Fella, and that just makes me feel good about the Knicks' chances tomorrow night.
Some nice attire going on over there.
Yeah, they're both well dressed. They're both Big Fella looks sharp. He looks good.
Yeah.
Do you think he's wearing an XL size jacket there, Gary?
I heard he's wearing a 2XL jersey at the draft party. Just putting that out there.
No, come on.
That's what I was told. I can't confirm nor deny. I can neither confirm nor deny, but I'm just telling you what I was told, that it was a 2X.
I don't know about that one.
I'll say this, back to the Rattler point, just to kind of put a bow on it. Look at his weapons when he played. He's throwing an MVS. They had just signed him. Juwan Johnson, Foster Morrow, Cedric Wilson Jr., Dante Pettis. I'm telling you, you will never see a worse receiving core than what they gave Rattler for those last 6 games or so. And he didn't play great. It's not like you're watching him light up a team for 300 yards. But he had a few games over 240 yards passing, and he looked sufficient back there, where you're telling yourself as a front office, hey, if we give him some weapons in a running game, this kid's got enough of an arm where he could throw for 280 a game if you give him the proper support. I'm telling you, go and look at that. I'm serious about that. I'm not just saying that because I liked Rattler out of college. I thought he looked pretty impressive at times last year.
What's your take on the moon landing, Frankie? Did it happen?
To be honest, man, I really don't think so. I'm on Gary.
Frankie is off point today. In fuego. Yes.
I think I'm on. I think I smoked whatever Gary did before the show today.
But Rattler, chicken and pasta, and the moon landing. 3 for 3, Frankie. 3 for 3.
Yeah, that is just perfect.
And I just saw a big fella's tweet. So I'm 5'11", 180 pounds, and I wear a large. And you're telling me he's got me by 100 pounds, and he only wears an extra large?
Gary, what do you care about what the fuck I'm wearing, bro?
I'm gonna look. I'm a man of logic and reason. I'm 5'11", 180. I wear a large. You're 6'5".
Why does this guy care about what I'm wearing? It makes no sense. Why do you care?
You ever watch Curb Your Enthusiasm and someone says something like suspicious to Larry to kind of give him that look like, okay.
How is it suspicious, bro? What are you talking
about? 280. That's a big fella.
Dude, if I wore a 2X, it would be baggy on me because my body is different. Okay, not everybody's built the same.
I understand, but if you're 6'4", 280, that ain't all in your legs, bro. 6'4", 280 is a big boy.
I don't know why you give a shit what I look like. You got me a little upset right now, man.
I didn't mean to get you upset, big fella.
Gary, why do you make fun of Big Fella and his shirt? Maybe you're a weird person, a weird guy. A wiggle, beagle, beagle, deagle, deagle, beagle, deagle, deagle.
That was perfect. Just unbelievable.
Hey man, just telling it how I see it,
And Villette says Dave Brigger's coming for Frankie V next. Dave Brigger writes in, Frankie, you're a failure like the other guy. Let's see. Barbarossa says, I'm a man of logic and reason, and Gary is the most illogical, unreasonable person here. Amazing. All right. How do we top that one? There's probably only one guy we could go to that will give us a shot to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline right now is the great Charles Gorman.
Hey, Charles! You'll never get my chicken soup recipe. Hey, I'm not saying that Lowski takes steroids. I need some of it. Hey, Charles! Who is that lovely lady? Sing it this way, Charles!
Hey, guys. How are you?
What's up, Charles?
I'm at Friendly's right now with my brother.
No way. Friendly's.
Wow.
Friendly's.
How you doing, Frankie V?
Hey, Charles. How you doing, man?
I didn't see you at the draft party. What the hell happened?
Yeah.
I was with Ryan at the New York Post studio there. We did a little draft show.
Charles, did you mean to Venmo me $40? Request $40?
No.
Am I paying for that too?
No, I got it covered along with my brother.
Oh, okay.
What are you eating, Charles?
Quesadillas and some French fries, and then I'm gonna have some ice cream.
Ooh,
nice.
Nice.
Dave Briggs says that you need a job, Charles. No more bumming.
He ain't wrong.
How's the job search going?
It's going all right. I'm sorry the Knicks got blown out yesterday. It was.
Come on, Charles. Why were you?
Wow, you see when you make fun of him, he gets you right back, Jake.
He's a Knicks fan. He's hurting himself.
Actually, true story. I grew up a Nets fan, but I'm becoming a Knicks fan.
What happened?
I didn't discuss it with the ownership. That can do that to a fan.
I see. Is it true squatters are living in your apartment?
No.
Okay. DFS wants to know, did Stevie Wonder give you a shave?
Oh, I shaved. I forgot to shave the rest of it, but don't worry, I shaved most of it.
Wait a second. What do you mean you shaved most of it?
There's some hair on my face still.
So where did you forget the shave? Like the whole left side of your face looks like there's hair there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So you so
maybe.
Oh, you're wearing the Gorman top. Rep for the brand. Nothing's a better representation of my listeners than Charles Gorman with a half-shaven face at a Friendly's with a Jake Asman Show tank top on. Electric.
Also, part of me, if I'm a bit more optimistic or, as they say, the delusional than some other Jet fans, I think this team should try to win at least 10 to 11 games this year. Jared Grant wants to win, and he wants to win now, and I don't blame him.
Frankie, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, they should try to win 17 games this year, right? I mean,
I know it sounds ridiculous, but I know Jake's laughing his ass off in the background. But I mean, I know there are a lot of Jet fans that are expecting 5 to 6, maybe 7 wins. Some are expecting 8 or 9. We got a talented roster. I mean, this, from my personal opinion, I don't know about you, Frankie V, but our offensive line to me has the potential to be the best we've had since 2015 and since from 2008 to 2010, where we had that really damn good year where we had a good rushing attack, a top 10 scoring offense. And speaking of 2015, that was the last time we had 2 1,000-yard receivers and a 1,000-yard rusher.
no, I agree. Actually, I
you
think
like the Membu pick? Did you like the Membu pick? You didn't care.
No, I liked it. I think looking back on it, that was the right pick. I was in the Tyler Warren camp, but I don't know if sometimes it's
You're
best
wrong. You're wrong.
Yeah,
You have
fit
beef with
the
your
tail
razor,
line.
Charles?
No, I don't have a beef with my razor.
John wants to know, or John writes in, hey, Charles, stop worrying about the Jets and spend an extra 5 minutes and complete your shave. I've heard of people like missing like a spot, maybe like on the edge or something like that. But I mean, you have like a legit half a beard going.
I know. That's my stupid ass fault.
So can you explain the process, how this happened?
I put shaving cream on.
Okay.
I went like this, and I forgot some parts.
Yeah, but when you were done shaving, you then didn't look at yourself in the mirror and realize, oh, I'm not done yet.
Well,
I
my
still have
mirror
more.
in the bathroom downstairs was all fogged up.
Well, maybe you should have had a window open or something, a door.
That's true.
Australian Jet fan says Charles did the blind shaving challenge. Is that what this is? A new TikTok trend or something?
No, I don't do that.
John says your mirror wasn't working. Is that true?
No, it was just fogged up. FOGGED.
Beastbreaker says, Charles, you need razors?
I got plenty of razors.
House of Atlas, get a razor kit. Promo code Asman, 30% off.
I have Gillette.
What are your thoughts on Alan saying, dude eats and brings in zero income?
I don't eat, bringing zero income. I help my dad pay the phone bill.
Okay.
Hey, Alan, how are you, buddy? Don't mind the guys in the chat. You're a good guy. I met him in person. He's a good guy.
He's ripping you with this comment.
He's teasing me. That's what he's doing.
He's ripping you. How are you defending Alan over that? What am I missing here?
You weren't there for the luncheon with me and Nick Shine and Alan.
Here's my message on behalf of what you should be saying, Charles.
Fuck you, Alan.
That's not going to be me. Stop it.
Alan writes in, how are you, my man?
Good. I'm doing good, Alan. I'm doing good.
NYC says, it doesn't bother you that you look like half a shaven ball sack.
I don't shave my balls. I probably should, but I won't.
What does your brother think of your half shaven face? Give Eddie the phone. Steady Eddie, what do you make of your brother's face being half shaven?
It's weird.
I would agree.
I'll take care of it. Don't worry.
John says that you shouldn't put anything sharp near your, where.
My ball sack? Yeah, I know. Excuse me. Subway Series is tomorrow. Hopefully, it's a good series. And I am not a big fan of sharks, so no. That's Tom Hanks. I ate fries. I ate all my fries. I ate my potatoes, as my grandpa would say. Yeah, I kind of did look like I shaved with a weed whacker, didn't I? Kevin Maldonado. What? Teenage girl, what? Oh, probably the room. Peter Castro will be moving in on May 22nd. So, I also played some Madden 25 today. Sharing myself promo alert or I don't know, what do you want me else to say, Jake? I mean, I hope the Jets do well this upcoming season. Macy Mays, that's for me to know when you find out. I'm not showing you my armpit hair. No, thank you. I'm not doing that. No, I'm not doing that. I don't want to bother the person. Also, hello, Barbarossa. Hope you're doing well. Hey, Purple Bell Mike, how are you, buddy? Big Will, I am who I am. Anyways, it was good talking with you guys. Oh God, I think I'm about to sneeze. Hope you guys are doing well. Peace out.
Hi, I'm Charles, and I'm going to talk about Spider-Man and movies and sports and video games and maybe hot chicks.
I went to that call saying, how do we top that last one? And Charles Gorman reminded everyone why he was the #1 overall seed in Asmaniac Madness. Incredible.
I like that quote he had. I am who I am. I just like the way he worded that's just perfect. I am who I am. That's it.
Craig M with a super chat. Jets oddly do well with first-time head coaches. 7 wins into New Orleans/New England. Yeah, I mean, the streak of success with first-year coaches ended with Gase, but in the past they would do pretty well with first-year coaches. So sure, let's get back to that, Craig M. I love it. Now, Frankie, before you go, there's a guy on the line that I need to introduce you to. All right, I think you two are gonna squash the beef. And you guys are going to be on the same page. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
He's home, his bell is on the bed. That's what feels good. On the road, his bell is on the bed. In a dirty hotel room. He calls the show, his bell is on the bed. He's just more comfortable. He got a beard, loves the Jets, super chats. He's a big fella, sleeps alone. There's no room on his bed. That's a big fella.
What's up, Frankie?
Big fella.
How you doing?
How's it going? The reason why I guess I was trolling a little bit, is because a few shows previously you said you wanted to tank the season.
Big fella?
Is he there? I never said I said if it comes down to it and you're not in playoff contention, it's sometimes better to lose out to get a higher draft pick so you can get a quarterback. I never said go out and intentionally do it. I was saying in a perfect world, would you rather go 4-13, 2-15, or 7-10. If you can go 2-15 but get your quarterback, that sometimes is better. And I think for the Jets, if it's not Justin Fields, it might be better. I never
Chad
said
is saying that's not what you said. They had the receipts.
Yeah, I never said I wanted to tank the season. I want to win as many games as they can, man. But within the confines of making the playoffs. If it's not about making the playoffs, then I want a quarterback, man. You know what I mean?
Ladies and gentlemen, big fella, if you call back with your camera on, we will go to you immediately. And speak of the devil, the big fella, I believe, is back with us right now. Big fella, are you there? Big fella? Big fella.
He's on.
You hear us, big fella? I don't have big fella. We can't hear him. I don't know what's happening. But instead of big fella, let me bring on someone who also can't stand your guts. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to say hello to the great Dave Brigham.
He thinks that Gary needs more shots upside his head. This cowboy hates when you don't believe in achievement. Well, they call him One Punch Brigger. The moon landing was free. They call him One Punch Brigger. His claim is not too dirty. One Punch Brigger. Hated Johnson's fight his ass. One Punch Brigger. Does it only need one you?
How you doing, fellas?
What's up, Dave? How you doing, man?
I really called in to speak to Charles. I want to get this guy a job. I can't stand it anymore. I mean, really, I can't take it anymore. These people in the chat looking to give him funds. Now to go to Tampa. Get with it, Charles. Send me your resume. I'll find this guy a job. I can't deal with this guy anymore. Really. Come on. Get with it, Charles. Get with it.
Let's go, Dave. I'm in.
Where is he? What did he do? Leave? Charles went off the line? I went over to the mountain and I lost contact.
He left. He was going to have an ice cream sundae and try and freeload off more Asmaniacs.
No, in all seriousness, it's gone over the edge here, really. It's gone over the edge, Jake. He's got to learn to help himself. I mean, it's really, I mean, I don't know his problems, his life problems, but I mean, he really has to get up off his rear end. You know, as far as Frankie goes, Frankie, get your head out of your rear end. You agree with Gary about that. You're an uneducated person. Like he at least he has some education. Now did you ever read a history book or what?
Yeah, not recently.
Answer the question, Frankie. Did you ever read a history book?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so what's your excuse too? Is Gary's just your achievement denier, or just deny that our country? What is it? Spit it out, bro.
Dave.
Spit it out. Give me your reasons.
Dave, I'm telling you right now, there are things that we've been told historically that are not always true. You believe everything in every history book?
What?
There's things in wars.
I was a history major, political science major, business major, my friend. I went through that era.
Actually,
I went through that era.
Yeah, I mean, just don't believe everything that the media. Do you believe everything?
I witnessed things, my friend. You know, you guys are sick.
Right,
really, you're sick. You're sick. A whole bunch of you. You're all sick.
Keep an open mind. That's all it is.
I have an open mind. I'm sick of this crap with you guys. You know, you deny everything. And your Jets take suck.
It can go a little far.
Your Jet take suck too, buddy.
All right. I try to give you my perspective. What do you think about the Jets? What's your
I've been a lifetime fan more than you, my friend. I've been a lifetime fan. I just stay solid. Okay. I go through the bad times. I go through the good times. Not too many good times, as you know. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Do you think it's going to change?
I never change.
No, the Jets,
change
you
is
think
not my
time
thing, my
we're
friend.
gonna finally change. Things are gonna get
What?
better. Are things
I
gonna
hope
get
things
better?
get better. I hope things get better. What do you think? You know
I
all
think
the
they'll
answers.
get better once they get a quarterback. I think once you get a quarterback, then things get better. We'll
Yeah.
see if it's Fields, if it's the next guy. So if they don't have a quarterback, can you win in this league without a quarterback?
No, you have to have a quarterback. I know that.
You know, it's like you would need an elite defense, an elite running game. Then maybe you can get lucky if you don't have a premier quarterback. But it seems like the league now is moving more and more towards the best quarterback sort of win. Look at Mahomes, even Hurts.
You coming to Tampa? You
I'm
coming to
thinking about it. Yeah. I think I'm going to do it.
Okay, that's good.
You're down there?
That's good. I'll be down there. I got a place down in Venice, right? I live in Pennsylvania, but I go all over the place. See, I achieve things in life. I tried. God was with me, whereas a lot of you guys don't have that. That's why I put that in my mind, okay? Because I've seen people that, you guys, what you do is you denigrate the people of our past. That's what you do. You denigrate the people of our past, okay? You all think, we came up with some kind of master plan of deception. Don't believe everything you read, okay? I'm sick of it, okay? I'm sick of guys like you, okay? You could be learn some other things outside football, Football is not 100% life, okay? I don't have to give lectures to people. I'm sick of it. And, guys get out there and do something.
Gary,
Okay?
let me ask you a question. Gary, sorry, Dave. Let me ask you a question.
Not Gary.
He says I was talking about Gary. Sorry, Dave. Let me ask you a question about Gary stuff. Right, I agree with you that there's people like that deny everything, but there's things out there that you have to question, or else you can be.
I didn't say don't question it, but we have so much evidence, Frankie. We have so much evidence.
Let's talk about history. The Revolutionary War, how America became a country. Right. How do you think that process started? Do you think the founding fathers didn't sit in a room and talk about what lies the UK and Great Britain were telling us to keep us under their control? Sometimes you need some crazy people to have some crazy thoughts that are actually true to kind of change things, or else you just march in line with everything you're being told by CNN or Fox or all these networks. So
I don't listen to the news. I get my own news. I learn through my own.
Where? How do you get your own news? Where do you
get my own news by every method, by reading, by today we got access. We got people like Victor Davis Hanson. If you want to get real facts, okay. The YouTube world is great for getting picking up information, but you got to watch the news media because we know the way it is. Okay, we all have to be self-educated. Okay, we have to have common sense. I'm not saying you don't question. I question a lot of things. Listen, I got guys killed. My friends got killed in the Vietnam War. You think that was good? 58,000 kids got killed. I could have been one of them. All right.
No, I agree with you, man. Listen, I'm not that type of person where I think everything's a conspiracy. But
don't listen to Gary because you'll believe everything.
Yeah,
every conspiracy imaginable.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
He pisses me off.
I have to stop talking to Gary.
Yeah. Excuse me. I got me started. No, I'm sorry, Frankie, for letting you have it. I'm sorry.
No, don't worry. No, listen. Listen. If I'm gonna say crazy things or believe in something crazy, people can come at me. I have no problem with it. I think it's warranted completely. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I apologize.
No, don't worry. No.
Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans of all ages, welcome to the event of the year, the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the ASMANIAC Rumble.
Sorry about that earlier.
Oh, man. Man, I got to go from Brigger to you now. Oh, I don't know if I can handle this.
You can handle it, Charles.
What's going on, man?
No, the reason why you got sorted on my shit list is when you said you were going to you wanted us to tank the season for some pick or something like that, and I was like, if you're a fan of the team, you don't want to tank at all. Period. You don't know if that pick is going to work out. You don't know anything about that. So why would you want to tank the season? You want to see your team win.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me throw this back to you, big fella. Why do you think I'd want to tank? If you're like, put yourself in my shoes. So if you don't think I'm a real fan, then I'm like not a real Jet fan. Like, why do you think a fan would rather go, 3-14 versus 6-11? Like, why would a fan want that? Unless you don't believe they're a real fan. Like, what do you think that reason is?
I never said you weren't a real fan. I never said that. What I'm saying.
Well, then why would I want the team to lose more?
You obviously think that by getting a higher draft pick, for some reason, you're going to get a better player.
It's not for some reason. It's
but that's not always
proven. Joe Burrow, C.J. Stroud, Jaden Daniels, Drake May. The list goes on and on, man. I mean, I'm not saying it guarantees you that. I'm just saying, like, if the team with Archie Manning and Lenora Sellers coming out next year, if you can guarantee one of those for a few wins, 2-3 wins. I know that sounds weird to say, and I don't like saying that, but like fans say it all the time, the Jets can't tank, right? Like there's nothing wrong with a fan saying there's no reason to go 6-11. Just go 2-15 and get Lenora Sellers or Archie Manning. It puts you in a better position to win a Super Bowl in the future. What's wrong with that?
But the thing is, okay, first of all, you don't know if Arch is coming out next year. That's
True.
Number one. Number two, okay, there's a bunch of quarterbacks that are going to be coming out next year. Who says Lenora Sellers is even the best one? You could have Nussmeier, who's the best one. You could have other ones that are the best one. Also, for every Joe Burrow that you have, okay, you have freaking Zach Wilson, you have Mac Jones, you have players of that caliber going high as well. So it's definitely not a guarantee that you're going to get somebody like that. So what I'm saying is you root for the team to win. You don't root for the team to lose because you have no idea if that player that you're going to get is going to pan out in the future anyway.
Fair enough. But I'll say this, though. I've went down the rabbit hole and looked at quarterbacks selected in the top 5 and then quarterbacks selected outside, let's say, the top 10 and the situations that those quarterbacks outside the top 10 went to, like Lamar Jackson, Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott, Jordan Love. If you look at all those teams, they have one common denominator. They have a very good offensive structure and system. The Ravens do, the 49ers do, the Packers do, the Cowboys even do. They have weapons, good OCs, good offensive minds. If Tanner Engstrand, this is the caveat in this, if Tanner Engstrand can prove to be a really, really good OC and know what he's doing, I'd have more faith in saying, don't try to tank, just win so you could build some culture, build some confidence in the coaching staff and the personnel. And then you could trade up like the Bills did to get Josh Allen at 7. You could wait later, but I don't know, man. Like sometimes a guy like Joe Burrow just comes around, and I think Archie Manning's that you want to, if you're not showing any promise, then it's better to be there than like be stuck in mediocrity. Like I don't want to go through the Saleh days again.
Yeah,
I don't want to do it. Like get a superstar quarterback for once. And if it means having a terrible year, then I'm fine with it. I'm not rooting for it. And big fella, don't get me wrong. I'm not rooting for the Jets. I want the Jets to win every game. I want us to be 4-4, like we were talking about before the bye. So then after the bye, you can be in a playoff, you'll be in the playoff conversation. But man, like we've missed out on quarterbacks by a pick or two, and like we missed out on Nick Bosa by a pick. I mean, like sometimes
you got to give these guys a chance. Okay. You can't say, oh, well, we should tank the season and stuff like that. We have to see how things play out.
For sure. It's way too early to say. I agree with you.
And it's way too early for that.
I agree.
And I mean, like I said, if they do well and stuff like that, and we are picking lower, we could also, and Fields may do well, we could draft a quarterback regardless and, learn under Fields and them for a year and then go to the next level.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
I agree. I agree with that.
What a back and forth. You just went through the gauntlet from Briga to big fella. You survived, Frankie. How you feeling?
Dude, Briga was tough, man. I was this guy. No, listen, they're not, to be honest, they both make salient points, or they both make great points. Both of them. Like, I can agree with both of them. And
you don't believe in achievement, do you?
No, I don't at all. Actually, I think it's overrated. I think people get lucky, and you achieve things by getting lucky. I don't believe in. No, I'm kidding. But
it was pretty amazing to see Briga be so mad at Charles, and then remember, oh yeah, he also has issues with you for siding with Gary on the moon landing debate.
I would love to see if we could do like a celebrity boxing match with Gary and Briga. That would be. I think I'm putting my money on Briga. He will not. He's not going down. I'm just saying. Even though Gary's a boxer, I don't know, Gary.
Beastbreaker says, "Let me hammer Frankie."
I can't do it.
Do you have it in you to handle the beast?
Should I?
I mean, look at the shirt I'm wearing, baby.
All right, if I have to.
Beastbreaker and Little Joey. Surprise, surprise. Ladies and gentlemen, let's check in right now with the aforementioned Beastbreaker.
Would you silence, or should I do one of these?
Good afternoon, there, Frankie V. Nice try getting around Briga. I didn't think you had the nuts enough to go one-on-one with him. I think it's time you need to come to school with me. Welcome to my classroom, pain number 101. Now, for physics, you're going to have to learn a lot of the basics. I'm going to show you some things that you're going to need to learn. I've been around this organization since 1998, since I was a 13-year-old, Sonny. You got a lot to learn about the business. See, you may talk a big game, but when it comes time to put the money on the line, time out for 1 minute. Mr. Jake, open up the hole for somebody because somebody's going bye-bye. Bye-bye, Mr. Beasley. Little Joey, nice try, buddy. You're going to the hole. Goodbye. See ya. Open up the gate, Jake. Open up the hole. 1, 2, 3. Now look what you've done, Bobby Beasley. No more protection from the ASMANIACS. Had to pull you out of the chat and pass you right down with the sodomites. Sometime down here will make you feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them 24 hours to think about it.
Now look what you've done. No more protection from the ASMANIACS. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
Thank you very much. Now, Frankie, let me give you a little history lesson about these New York Jets. I've been watching them since I was a kid, and I'll tell you, it's painful to watch. And you know what? When Vincent Vinny went down in 1999, we lost a great quarterback. We got our asses kicked by a lot of the great teams. And Bill Parcells said it best, that we stink. We couldn't play offense, defense, do any goddamn thing. You know why? Because we had our asses kicked. When we lost Vintage Vinny in 1999, we didn't even have a team. You know why? No heart, no guts, no brains, not enough determination, not even any heart from down here. We lost that season. 2000, we came back. 2001, we started doing okay, but when you brought in Chad Pennington, there's a game changer right there. Do you remember Chad Pennington?
Yes, sir. Of course.
Very good. Very good. Now, did you watch the first match in the playoff of the 2002 season? Did you watch that match between the Colts and the Jets? Did you watch that match?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
44-0? That was a blowout. See, that was one. See, now, years later, what the hell are we doing now? We're doing...
You got schooled there, Frankie. A tremendous amount of points were being made.
I think this is my favorite Jake Asman show appearance. This was unbelievable.
You know you made it when you went through a big fella, Briga, and Beast asshole gauntlet.
Yeah. Good thing you and I didn't argue much today, because I don't think I would have been able to handle.
No, I just let we're a show for the fans by the fans around here. And the fans wanted to talk to you. I love it. I appreciate you hopping on as always, Frankie. You're the best.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, the fans. Thanks, guys.
Frankie V, uStadium, Gangs All Here podcast with the New York Post. Check it out if you're a Jet fan. What a show. Wow. I still got some callers on the line here. Very good ones from all ages. Josh is up next. Hello, Josh.
What's up, Jake? How's it going?
What's up, Josh? How was school today?
Pretty good. Pretty
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I had a little post-school Chipotle, but look what came in the mail. This is what we're
Hey,
talking about.
there you go.
Yep. So
You got to put it on.
my bad.
Let's go. There it is.
All right, but I'm here to say something that you may find controversial. And listen up. I'm filling in on Connor's show tonight at 8. So more details there. But here's what I'm
Ooh,
thinking.
now you're a pro. Nice little plug there.
Thank you. Forget wide receiver 2, forget defensive line. The biggest question mark on this team is special teams.
Well, we don't have a kicker, and we also got rid of our best punter, so you could certainly argue that.
Correct, and I don't think Xavier Gibson's returning kick. So we have 3 new guys at all 3 positions.
Correct. Yes, but I think in the grand scheme of things, the lack of a true defensive tackle, we feel comfortable that's going to help Quinnen, and receiver 2, they could be bigger long-term issues, whereas like special teams, it obviously could affect wins or losses, but like we're hoping that, not having a great kick returner is not going to cost you wins, whereas not having depth at wide receiver or defensive tackle could directly lead to losses.
I think so, but I'm just saying more of I don't think we're getting, anything more in wide receiver and defensive end positions. Like, unless they go out and like get like Keenan Allen or something, trade for Olave, which I just don't see them doing because it's not necessarily a win now year. I just think we know what we're getting out of our wide receiver 2. If it's Reynolds or Allen Lazard, we're getting a below league average, not that great wide receiver 2. Defensive end it was my biggest need in the draft. I don't know how we didn't address it at all, but
They took Barron.
What?
They took Barron from Miami, Tyler Barron.
Yeah, but I was thinking obviously I wanted Membu first, and there's no one there besides Mason Graham there. But like 3rd or 4th round, they waited till the absolute end of the draft for that. But I mean, I think we know what we're getting there. I'm just saying we have no clue what to expect on special teams. It's going to be a rookie punter and a rookie kicker, right? And Greg's the one.
Well, they might keep, but what's his name? The
Anders
kicker
Carlson?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Kickers are like relief pitchers. Year to year, you don't know. Hopefully,
Yeah.
it can't be worse than last year. So hopefully, it's at least league average.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And Anders Carlson can stay, whatever. He was just so inconsistent with the Packers. I'd rather trot a rookie out there. But
They'll have competition.
Yeah, for sure. But I just think that we really have no clue what's going to be happening at all on special teams. Wide receiver 2 and defensive tackle, it's going to be bad play, but I think we at least know what to expect. Like, you're not going to go in and be shocked when Allen Lazard, drops 5 passes in the first 4 weeks.
What year were you born, Josh?
2010.
So the best Jet season of your lifetime is what? The McCown? Do you remember that? You don't remember 2015, do you?
I remember watching Josh McCown. I don't specifically remember 2015. Like, the first couple of Jets I remember are like Robbie Anderson, Buster Screen, Bilal Powell.
And this is the problem with being bad for as long as the Jets have been bad.
Yeah.
This kid somehow still loves the Jets, and the best he has seen in his lifetime is a 7-win season.
Yep. Yeah, that's about right.
What grade are you in, Josh? Are you in 8th grade?
Freshman.
You're a freshman in high school. When I was a freshman in high school, the Jets were playing in the championship game. They were going to the playoffs every year.
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Forgot what that feeling's like.
I have no clue what it feels like. We'll get there someday.
I hope so.
Me too.
I
I think
love it.
everybody hopes so.
Josh, great call. I'm glad the merch arrived safe and sound. It looks good on you. And I'll
Thanks.
be tuned into what's the name of the show tonight? It's called Next Gen Jets.
Yeah, no, it's on Connor's channel.
So you're doing a show. Connor has found a way to still get content on his channel by basically having you guys do it for him. I love it.
Well, that, and I think he's also sick tonight.
Ah,
Yeah, he's been sick recently.
I see.
Anyways, Knicks in 6. I'm a Nets fan, but Knicks in 6, whatever. I hate this.
Mikal Bridges, awesome.
Yeah, for 5 first-round pick, he can be as good as he wants. We
Yep.
have your future. in our hands.
Yeah, but the future, like they're the same age as you right now.
Yep. Yes, correct.
but
like 29.
One of your
21.
classmates could be the future pick that the Nets use from the Bridges trade.
Yes, that is scarily true. Yeah.
Yep. Josh, great call. Call back more, all right?
Thanks, Jake. Will do. See you.
Ladies and gentlemen, freshman in high school, Josh, on the phone line there. Excellent. Boomtown says, great call, Josh. That could be a top 10 call right there. By the way, rankings coming out in 2 weeks. The top 10 rankings are back every month now. Committee had some time off after the tournament, but Boomtown's back at it at the end of this month. Our monthly top 10 rankings. Got to call into the show to be eligible. All right. I'm going to gift a membership and get someone in the raffle here. I think we only had 3 memberships that have been gifted the entire show. So I'm going to gift some right now. And if you hear your name called, you're in the raffle. Ladies and gentlemen, a membership will be gifted shortly. In the meantime, let's say hello to Jets Jesus, who was called in. Hello, Jets Jesus.
What's up, Jake?
What's up, Jets Jesus?
Frankie V going through the gauntlet was wild.
It takes a special person to handle that, and I thought he did well, all things considered.
It's been all over the place. Like Frankie coming out positive was crazy after the previous show that you and him got into it on some of his crazy takes, and also obviously the maybe tanking, maybe just the trying to see the upside if the Jets are really bad this season. Whatever, like wins wise, I guess. But I like it. I like his take coming out on they're going to win in Pittsburgh. I think that game's exciting. It's going to show us right away who this coaching staff is.
Agreed.
Which that's awesome. But the team up of Frankie and Gary is ridiculous.
When Frankie said he didn't believe in the moon landing, I lost it. I'm like,
for me, it was the chicken and pasta.
Yeah, that too. That was it was amazing. Like all you need to know about Frankie is that he aligns with a lot of Gary's takes, which is incredible.
Yeah, and he even kind of he wasn't fully in, but the gas station pizza I can't understand. I can't even understand Gary making the gas station pizza like upside, knowing how he eats or how he says he eats.
It's amazing.
He
doesn't make any sense.
Wild. No, it doesn't. It's so good. It's so fun. And then having Kiddo come on sorry, I forgot his name already, but having
Josh.
Kiddo come on right afterwards and bring us some rationality. Good stuff. I'm sure that dude's gonna crush his show. And I don't know.
I love it.
Yeah, who's the other? I'm forgetting all the kids' names. Who's the channel that he's on?
I think it's just the Connor Long channel.
It's the Connor Long channel. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. Connor's going to have to watch out if he's got him nipping at his heels. Although they'll end up being a great tag team.
Connor's got a nice little scheme going. He's got all them producing content on his channel as his channel continues to grow. Nice job by Connor with that one.
I mean, that's the podcast way to grow, right? You start your podcast and then you create a network off of it.
He's got a network, the Connor Long Jets network we have brewing.
Exactly. Yeah, it's good stuff. But I like it. We can jump back to the schedule a little bit, but yeah, those first couple of games are concerning. But I think it's gonna, a lot of it's gonna be on the coaching staff. Like this will be the test of the coaching staff. Of all right, like how do you come out, and then how do you adjust once you come out? What is this offense is gonna, little more confidence in the defense because of the experience and seniority on the defense, both player and coach wise. And then it'll be what the offense can pull off. Can they do it? I do think that if it like we imagine it being, with really being able to rely on the run, that foundation is there. And there's almost no way that our O-line is going to be worse. Let's put it that way. Even talent there, O-line, new O-line coach after having a horrible O-line coach. I think that's really good for the offense coming out pretty solid to begin with. I like that. Even if you're somewhat limited and having to, not go too far off of base offense, that's a really good foundation that should be there for just run the ball. You have some dump passes. Garrett Wilson will get open here and there. Smith or whoever will be able to get something going down the field a little bit, even if it's just a couple that get caught. And, you'll be able to dish to Brees. You'll be able to dish to Taylor. You've got a good amount of stuff for drop-off passes with them. And, and as long as Fields is smart with either being able to run it or remember that he's got checkdowns, it's like I said, even base should be pretty good. You're just coming off with two really tough defenses to begin with.
They got to get through September. That's the big thing because the defenses are tough early, but it's a tough start. But early on in the years when you see kind of kooky upsets, like the Eagles were 2-2 last year before it clicked. Like it takes a month for a lot of good teams. You're playing Pitt early. You're playing Buffalo early. You're playing Tampa early. Like, can you avoid the 0-3 start? Can you go 1-2 to start the year, but then win the last game in week 4 to get the 2-2 at the end of September? Like, I'll sign
and
for
even
that
if
right
we
now.
go a little doom and gloom on those games, if you get knocked down in those games, can you brush yourself off, learn from it, and then come out hot? I mean,
think
it's
the goal
tough.
should be
I mean,
4-4 at the bye.
You go 1-4. I know it's really tough, but I mean, if we're thinking like, hey, 7, 8 wins for the season, we're going to be happy. If losing those games and then being able to learn from it and come out of it, that's still feasible after that. I mean, I don't want that. None of us want that. But even in that, I mean, that was the first thing I noticed when I saw the schedule was I was like, oof, those first 3 games are tough.
Gotta grind. Gotta find a way.
Gotta grind. Yeah, and then speaking of grind, let's see the Knicks do this tonight, dude.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, my bad. Tomorrow. Yeah, I did. I've put last night behind me so much that I'm like, all right, I'm ready to get this going. But yeah, that game was a bit heartbreaking, but I understand it. Sometimes you get a little too confident, feeling good out of the last one or whatever it was, maybe emotions and such. And back home, be able to get it done in the Garden in front of the fans, feeling good.
I'm with you. Look, I a great call, Jet Jesus. It was disappointing last night, but I'm not worried yet. I think I talked about this on the first show. In fact, I isolated part of my Knicks commentary as a separate video on the channel today for those fellow Knicks fans out there who want to hear the whole thing. They had a chance to close them out, but Boston, being the team they are, had that mentality of we're not losing at home, right? Jaylen Brown had a great game. You saw Cornette have this career game. Derek White was red hot, didn't miss. And Jalen Brunson got 5 fouls called on him in the third quarter. Like, I just think there were certain things that happened last night that are not sustainable or aren't able to go into be replicated tomorrow. And I'll take my chance with the Knicks at home with Brunson, the best player in the series. And I don't think we're going to see OG and Mikal Bridges shoot a combined 5 of 26. I think that I'll be nervous if the Knicks lose tomorrow, but I am oddly confident they are going to win tomorrow and get this done. They're due to finally clinch a playoff series at home. It'd be fitting if it's this one to get them in the conference finals for the first time in 25 years. Crazy. Craig in Australia has gifted 5 channel memberships.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Craig's memberships went to the following listeners: O. Lozano, Connor Carey, Red Bean, Gaming with Chris, and Gary Theus. And I believe this might be the first time that Craig has called in since he's returned back to his native land. Craig, hello, sir.
Mate, how you going?
Do you miss us in the USA?
Let's put it this way. I bring good news and bad news.
Uh-oh.
The bad news is I'm back here. The good news is I'm coming back to the USA, as I always do. So hopefully at this rate, we've got a routine now twice a year. So when I do my work conference in May, wherever that is, which by the way, next year is in DC.
Wow, even closer.
Nice and close. And we do our September trip. So yes, I've just been looking at this. Not sure what's best, the home opener or Buffalo, or even pushing it to Dallas. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure at this point.
You should meet us in Tampa and come to the ASMANIAC road trip.
that's not as stupid as it sounds. You know, there's no reason why we can't come in that way. You know what I mean? Like it can happen. Like we could fly there and then continue on and do our thing with all the kids in New York. So it could happen. It could happen. But the thing about September is that we can see the Yankees as well. That's the thing. We get the maximum out of our trip there.
That's right. Yeah, your kids have to experience a baseball game, especially your son Austin, who loves Austin Wells.
Mate, I've got that. I was sitting next to you, and I got that video live of him hitting a home run, which I was able to send back to him. So we'll work it out. It'll happen somehow. I'm not entirely sure. I have to say thank you so much for all the gifts that you gave me that you shouldn't have and didn't have to. It was extremely kind. But I particularly want to say thank you to Jets Johnny, who left some gifts with you for me. And one of them was like a glass, or like a beer glass maybe, with a bullet embedded in it. And I'm thinking to myself, it's about as American as it gets. I mean, even Gary would be proud of a gift like that. By the way, does Gary know that Jets Jesus is not the real Jesus? Does he know?
Well, it's a fair question because we know Gary thinks all things are literal.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like we should do the right thing by him and just clear it up in advance, just in case. I mean,
point.
Gary doesn't need to worry. I'm not giving him shit because fear not.
There it is.
It is there, but
we can't wait for the signed sauce jersey to be on the frame there.
There's a space on my wall right over there, right above the Lego roller coaster and the Lego Concorde and my dog, and that's where it's going. It's the first thing I will see every time I come in here, and I think the Jermaine Johnson one will go to the office. I think that's the plan. So I'll be surrounded by Jets and Asmania, which is basically how I like it to be at this stage. But thank you so much for having me. Thanks to everyone who went out of their way to come and catch up with myself and Mrs. Craig. Really, it's as I say almost every call, it's enriched my life and enriched my USA experience, having real, genuine friends over there that I can catch up with. So we'll keep an eye on Tampa. I want to meet Ricky. I want to meet Gator. I want to meet all these other people that it's not as easy. So have an awesome night, mate. And if I don't speak to you for tomorrow night, go Knicks. Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Craig in Australia. We miss him in the United States, but he'll be back soon. That'd be amazing if Craig could time the trip up to come to the Tampa game. I mean, you could do New York first in theory, Craig, and then fly down to Tampa. There's so many flights out of New York. It's usually not that expensive. Or do it the reverse way, too, if that's easier. I don't know. But either way, I'm glad that we're going to have Craig back in September in some capacity. From one Australian man to another before we close. Hello, Australian Jet fan.
Hey, Jake, how's it going? It feels like ages since the last time I called in.
Yeah, where have you been?
Well, my laptop, which I always watch the show on, is actually broken at the moment. So I haven't really been able to watch as much. But I mean, I'm back in New York at the moment. I'm at the airport. And I don't need my phone at the moment, so I can just watch the show on my phone, which is great.
I missed the part of that. You're still in the U.S. and you're headed back now to Finland?
Yeah.
I didn't realize you were still here. You were in Memphis, right?
Yeah, so that's also why I haven't really been calling in. But when I get back to Finland, I think there'll be a lot more of me again. But yeah, I've started at like 10 o'clock this morning. I've been traveling all day, and now I've got the flight all the way back, which is I'm very excited for, as you can tell.
How long is the flight that you're about to take to Finland? Where are you flying from?
So I think it's like 14 hours to Amsterdam, and then when I swap, it's only like an hour and a half from Amsterdam to Helsinki.
And where are you flying to Amsterdam from? Where are you right now?
I'm in New York. I'm at JFK right now.
Ah.
And I can tell you it was not fun trying to get from one side of the airport to the other and then having to go through security and stuff for a second time today.
Well, I'm glad you made it through.
I did. I'm planning to come back a bit later as well because I want to watch a Jets game. So,
Well, you have options. You could join us in Tampa. You could come to the Carolina one if you want to sit with a bunch of Asmaniacs. We're doing a group buy for that one, or any
I
other
was
home game.
I was actually thinking about Carolina because I looked at the schedule when it came out. It looks like a fitting time probably. But yeah, I reckon 7-10 this season. That's my guess.
7-10. That's fair. That's tough to tell anyone they're crazy for feeling that way.
7 for Justin Fields.
I love it. You have your Fields jersey. You didn't lose it?
No, I didn't lose it. No way am I losing that.
All right. Just want to make sure. Well, you have a safe flight, all right, Australian Jet fan?
I will. Have a good one. Peace.
We look forward to you calling in again from the clubs in Finland. All right. That's a show. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. I said I was going to gift a membership, and then I saw Craig did, but I had a membership I'm gifting to right now. Craig one-upped me, but I had it loaded. I just need to hit the button, and it has processed officially right now. I gifted one channel membership, and in honor of that membership being gifted, I get to play a video of my choice.
Adam Schefter is reporting the Jets have just fired Robert Saleh.
Wow! Wow! Are you serious?
I swear to you,
Beningo, hopefully on with us early next week. It's in the works to get Joe's thoughts on the schedule and hopefully talk about the Knicks being in the Eastern Conference Finals. My membership I gifted, it went to listener Joe. How fitting. Played a Joe B clip, and Joe was the one who got the raffle entry. All right. Thank you all for your support. Wouldn't be possible without that. We were supposed to have Matt O'Leary on today, but he was dealing with some sort of illness. Everyone wish Matt O'Leary well. We're back tomorrow. Don't have a guest confirmation just yet. Nick Faria will be one of them. So stay tuned. We'll have plenty to talk about tomorrow. Who knows who Dave Brigham will be mad at next? It's going to be magical. On that note, I will talk to you guys soon. JETS, 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 Jets. And I leave you with one final video that needs to be played. I take you back to the time Charles Gorman was wiping his derriere on the Bobby Midnight Show.
Charles, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still there. I'm just working my ass right now.
Okay, that's fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, last night in our Discord channel, he threatened to crack Gator McCluskey's skull. Charles Eugene M. Gorman joins us. Hello, Charles.
He was trying to be a smartass and wishing harm on other opposing teams' players. How about I wish for your skull to get fractured? And he was like,
Gator just wrote in, Charles wants to murder me. So to be clear, you don't want to crack his skull.
I don't want to murder you, Gator. Granted, you can be a smartass sometimes, but you're too much of a national treasure.
Who would want a picture with you besides someone who knows you from my show, your show, or Nick Shine's show?
That's a good question.
What if Gator was there? Would you take a picture with him? Because you did threaten to kill him in the Discord the other night.
I didn't threaten to kill him. People are taking those words out of context. He was praying for every player and every other team to get anal warts. And I said, what if I pray for you to get your skull fractured?
Yeah, what did you say?
I'll share my screen with you.
Make sure you delete your history first, Charles.
Oh, stop it. Gator says if he's not a Jet, he sucks. But I can't help it, Charles. I put my head on my pillow all night, just wishing anal warts on all non-Jets players and fans. And then I said, how about I wish for you to get your skull fractured?
But it does sound like there was some intent there, no?
Intent? What do you mean by intent?
Like there's some intent, you know?
I don't want to hurt Gator, and I don't really wish harm on the guy.
You said you don't really, though. I mean, that's not going to be helpful.
Look how smart this dude is.
Why don't we just apologize to Gator and we'll let bygones be bygones?
Where's Gator?
No, he's in the chat. He wrote, "I'm so threatened." Damn.
I'm gonna kiss you and make up with you.
Yeah, there's no kissing on this show. It's who do you think you are here?
First of all, I'm joking.
Just like you were joking about fracturing Gator's skull, huh?
I was upset that Gator said that if they're not a Jet, they suck.
I see where Gator's coming from with that take.
What?
They're not a Jet. They're garbage.
So you think Adrian Peterson of the Vikings was a terrible football player?
He wasn't a Jet.
He's a future Hall of Famer.
What did he do for the Jets?
That's my opinion.
Charles embracing the gangster rapper persona, Gator. Stay safe, brother. Thoughts and prayers.
I'm not a killer. I'm not a psychopath like people claim that I am.
All right.
I have a bad temper, but I'm not a psycho.
Charles, thank you for the time. Farewell. Ladies and gentlemen, Charles Eugene M. Gorman. That was tremendous.
Oh, yeah, here I come again, Gator. I ain't gonna quit until I bleed out from all kinds of things exiting my caboose. I got some new dilemma cause I'm always left alone. There's stuff in my apartment seems to fit inside my hole. Just the other day I found some old Gorilla Glue. Should've stuck it up my ass, but this what I'm gonna do. Squeezed a little glue on my dirty middle finger. Wiped it on my nuts, you know it made me feel like Diddy. Let go of my sock and felt it sticking to my butt pipe. Shit, that bitch is stuck and now I'm sitting here screaming. I glued my balls to my butthole again. My ass can't breathe and my nuts, they are sore. Well, I glued my balls to my butthole again. My ass can't breathe and my nuts, they are sore. Damn, I've been here before. I'll be back again. It's not my first rodeo. At least I'm not pulling a bowling pin out like last week. Not sure I'm gonna have time for another diss track against you, Gator. Gonna take me a while to fix this mess and let this sucker heal. Asmaniacs must think I'm obsessed with my ass. I glued my balls to my butthole again. My ass can't breathe and my nuts, they are sore. I glued my balls to my butthole again. My ass can't breathe and my nuts, they are so damn sore. JJ out, gotta get this thing fixed.
Up in the attic where the beams creak low, bass breaker's heart is a steady glow. Little Joey perched up high with pride, taking a spin on a piggyback ride. Bass breaker laughs, his joy ain't small, loves his pizza, loves gabagool, all in all. Little Joey squeaking, they roam so wide, living the dream on a piggyback ride. The floorboards groan beneath his feet, but it's pure love that can't be beat. Little Joey's fur glows in the dim attic light, holding on tight through the moonlit night. Bass breaker laughs, his joy ain't small, loves his pizza, loves gabagool, all in all. Little Joey squeaking, they roam so wide, living the dream on a piggyback ride.
Stop. What's up, Jake? You're embarrassing yourself. Oh, shit. Stop. Let me ask you something, ass man. What do you think of Zach Wilson? He stinks. Thank God he's gone. He never scores no fucking touchdown. He stinks. The second pick for number 2 destroyed the Jets' cause. He stinks. Asmaniacs kick so much ass, but some of them, they kill the vibe and make the show a freaking mess, so Jake reminds them. He stinks. When Alan calls, he speaks the hate. That cartoon douche, he trashed the Jets. Let Bobby know, cause he's the man who will find him. He stinks. Another call comes from the car, distorted voice and no Wi-Fi. That's JJ, with his crap ass phone just cut off the call. He stinks. Is that gas station pizza? Come on, Gary. He stinks. Chicken don't go with pasta. Just get out of here, Jake. The guy is terrible. Enough!